Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3, and we are here for Tru Heel Heat's top 10 best matches of 2021. What a year it has been. I am joined by my esteemed colleagues. First, he is the ace in the face of the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, your connoisseur of reporting himself, Mr. Romeo Anthony Cologne.
Hello, everybody. Happy holidays. Hope everyone is enjoying these last couple of weeks of the year.
Absolutely. And we are joined by the president of the New York Knicks fan club. He is the resident marijuana enthusiast of the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, Mr. Chris G.
Oh yeah, happy holidays, everybody. Light some trees and light some trees.
I see what he did there.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Either or, whichever you want to do. And of course, help us out. We hope you're all having a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year, all of that good stuff. But help us out with the channel by dropping a thumbs up on the video. Share this video with all your friends. Subscribe if you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. We had just hit 1,900 subscribers on our YouTube channel, slowly making the charge to 2,000 subscribers. So help us out during this holiday season. If you're watching the premiere live, you can give your choices for the top 10 best wrestling matches of 2021 in the live chat, or if you're watching us on demand, let us know in the comments below if you agree with our list, what you would have changed, and what was your best match of 2021. Romeo, overall, what did you think about the in-ring product of professional wrestling in 2021 with some excellent wrestling matches that we saw this year?
It was refreshing in a sense that, you know, somehow along the way we got back to crowds, and crowds add so much to a wrestling match. I will explain how so in just one instance on this list. But yeah, just that alone brought the wrestling quality back up.
Chris G, would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we still got a few bangers without fans, but like it's not the same, man. The whole vibe and atmosphere. You need the crowd. You need the fans. You need that roar. You need people booing and throwing shit. So yeah, it definitely helps.
Absolutely. And we saw that early in the year as we start off our list with number 10, the triple threat main event from WrestleMania 37 of Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against Edge versus Daniel Bryan. Three men who had career threatening injuries or illness that probably thought that their careers were over, who were able to return now in the main event of WrestleMania together. Edge got there by winning the 2021 Men's Royal Rumble match and then making Roman Reigns know that he was going after his title. While Daniel Bryan won the Elimination Chamber, he lost to Roman Reigns immediately after. He then convinced Roman to give him a rematch at Fastlane, which Edge screwed him out of and cost him the Universal Championship, which caused this triple threat to be made. And my lord, this was just a set piece of just moments, just major moments, a lot of great moments during this matchup. The double crossface with the chair leg in Roman's mouth from Daniel Bryan and Edge, them trading headbutts with one another at the same time. Roman Reigns just reveling in the crowd response, the crowd booing the tribal chief here with the fans returning for WrestleMania 37. And of course, the ending, which saw Roman Reigns stack them and then pin him and defeat both Daniel Bryan and Edge in the main event of WrestleMania. This was just a awesome spectacle to close out WrestleMania 37 weekend. Chris G, what was your thoughts on this match?
I mean, it was fitting. It was a fitting way to end WrestleMania, right? The tribal chief on top. It's gonna be the image for years to come whenever they bring up this WrestleMania. But I mean, the match itself was great. It was a spot fest. I love spot fests. They had some unique spots with the crossface and all that. I mean, it seems like every time they put a triple threat together for WrestleMania for the main event, it usually delivers. And I'm glad this one was just added to the list.
Yes, Romeo, we had a debate on our WrestleMania 37 roundtable review. Now, that was immediately after WrestleMania 37. Now, looking back on it, where do you think this triple threat ranks as the great WrestleMania triple threats of the past?
It's still not the best. I'm always gonna love Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and that other guy in their main event of WrestleMania.
Who?
That other guy. That is gonna be number one. But this match, you knew with Edge and Daniel Bryan psychology, like putting a match together, that was gonna be great in itself. And then you give them Roman Reigns to play with, and you get what you got at WrestleMania. Which night two definitely needed this at the end of the night to salvage how it started with one of the worst matches of the year, our worst match of the year in the awards.
Yes, our 2021 worst match of 20 of the year, the Fiend Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton kicked off the night, and then we end off the night with our number 10 best match of 2021. So it was definitely a tale of two halves with WrestleMania 37 night 2. Coming in at number 9 is another match from WWE. A certain match that took place in Saudi Arabia, the opener to Crown Jewel 2021 Sweet Saudi Money 6. Edge going one-on-one with Seth Rollins. This was the third and final encounter between these two rivals who started their feud in the summer this year with a great match at SummerSlam. Edge getting the victory there. Seth Rollins got his revenge, defeating Edge in Madison Square Garden on SmackDown, and then further got under Edge's skin by doing a home invasion on his house and making fun of his daughter's paintings and drinking his orange juice without a cup. Some bad stuff. That's Seth Rollins. But all of that bitterness, that aggression, the animosity between one another blew off in this Hell in a Cell match, and probably one of the more brutal Hell in a Cell matches without the use of blood. Some of the highlights being Edge launching Seth Rollins off the top rope into the cell cage into a table at ringside. Great spot there. You had Seth Rollins wrapping his foot in a steel chain and super kicking Edge in a callback to the Madison Square Garden match. Then you had Edge turning that around and taking it all the way back to the beginning of their rivalry in 2014 when he gave Seth the curb stomp on a steel chair to finally end their feud and win here. Romeo, what was your thoughts on Edge versus Seth? And did you think that this was one of the better main roster matches for WWE this year?
It was, and oh baby, it was on Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel got a match this good. That made my watch along so much better for that show. Edge is Edge going to be on this entire list? 10-9 already so far. That's amazing. And you knew Seth Rollins was going to be on this list. Tremendous match, the best of their feud, and I really enjoyed it.
Chris G, what would you say this match ranks as far as Hell in a Cell matches in recent years?
So, full transparency, because it was on Crown Jewel, I didn't give a fuck about this match when it first came out, right? I've not seen it in its entirety, but I have caught highlights, basically the short version. Everything everybody else tells me about this match seems like it's legit one of the best Hell in a Cell matches, if not all time, definitely in recent memory. So, you know, I might take the L and join the cock just to watch this.
Whoa.
He's gonna jump on the cock, ladies and gentlemen. He's gonna jump on the cock.
Pause. Just to watch this show. But yeah, I think from what I've seen, it looks good. So I got to catch the whole show.
A great year for Edge, but also a great year for one of the people in our number 8 entry, the best matches of 2021, the main event of WrestleMania 37 Night 1, as Bianca Belair went one-on-one with SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks. These two women made history, becoming the first African-American woman to headline the show of shows, and they put on a spectacular contest that really was a star presenting performance for Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, really putting the emphasis and the spotlight on the EST of WWE. Her gorilla press slam from the floor up the steel steps into the ring on Sasha Banks being a highlight of this matchup. Of course, the hair whip of death that left a mark on Sasha Banks' rib cage, and then finally the KOD getting the victory for Bianca over Sasha here, and here becoming the first African American woman to win the main event of WrestleMania. Chris G, what did you think about Bianca and Sasha? In my eyes, the best WWE main roster match of the year.
I mean, it's not a stretch to say this might be the greatest women's main event in WWE history, right? I mean, this match had everything you wanted. It had drama. It had a decent build. Uh, from what I remember, it wasn't great.
I wouldn't say all that. I
Decent
wouldn't
at best.
go that far.
Decent at best. Oh, this they were a tag team and all that shit. Yeah, you're
Can
right.
they coexist?
Now it's coming back.
Yes,
Now
yes.
it's coming back. Trash. But the match
wasn't
itself.
Reginald in the beginning?
Yes. Reggie was a central figure of their
You see how
build.
I just blocked this shit out of my mind because I can't fucking stand it? It's not the weed. It's just I literally just shove it out of my mind because I don't want to fucking think about it anymore. But I remember the match because the match was great. It was a great main event. I was happy for both women because both women showed out. Even Sasha was happy. They caught her on the side, grinning from ear to ear because she knows she just put on magic with Bianca Belair. And it really was Bianca's like here it is moment. Like now we got to start taking it seriously if you haven't already. So this definitely deserves to be on this list. And it's not a stretch to say it might be the best main roster main event
Of the year, probably. Romeo, what was your lasting memories of Bianca versus Sasha at WrestleMania 37?
Well, at least I waited until what is this, number 7 on the list? Number 8? To dump cold water, to start dumping cold water on some of these matches on this list.
Of course.
This isn't in my top 10. This match is overrated.
This guy is
This
preposterous.
Is a top 3 to 5 moment for sure. 2 African American women main eventing WrestleMania. Definitely a top moment. The match itself seemed like a Bianca Belair showcase. I don't think Sasha got enough in to make this a great, outstanding main event match. It really was a Bianca highlight for her. It's a great moment. Great in that sense of making a star in Bianca Belair, a main event star. Yeah, I just think it's a bit overrated. It's not in my top 10. I think the 2 matches we just talked about are better than this.
You're entitled to your opinion. That's all
Won't be my last hot take, baby.
All I can say about that right there. Coming in at number 7, though, is from New Japan Pro Wrestling, Wrestle Kingdom 15, Night 1. Kazuchika Okada going one-on-one with Will Ospreay. These 2 men were good friends, kind of like brothers in chaos, until Ospreay turned on Okada to defeat him in the G1 Climax 30, thanks to help from Great O'Khan and B. Priestley, creating the United Empire. This matchup was seen as Ospreay coming out of the shadow of Okada, and what a matchup these guys had. Just a breakneck pace to this matchup, and just the escalation of drama and the gear shifting from one to another, and it kind of like you just felt the emotion, the drama, the pacing all picking up as this match went on. 38 minutes of this classic that we witnessed here, with Okada going back in the well one more time and using the Rainmaker for the first time in well over a year to defeat Will Ospreay here on Wrestle Kingdom 15 Night 1.
Storytelling.
Romeo, what was your thoughts on this one? This actually made your list, didn't it?
This was fantastic. This was amazing. One thing you know about New Japan is that they're going to have the first match of the year. And then it's up to everybody else to try to top it because they go on first. And this might have been match of the year just for one day. That's the funny part. Fantastic matchup. This is
literally that's the great segue, because that's number 6. If you're thinking what
Will Ospreay proved he can hang with the heavyweights, and it's unfortunate for Ospreay what ended up happening in the summer where he got hurt.
Yeah, Ospreay could have been definitely in the running for Wrestler of the Year if he didn't get that setback. Had to leave Japan with the neck and back injuries. Chris G, what do you think about Ospreay's year 2021 overall with that little setback and this matchup with Okada at Wrestle Kingdom?
Well, I mean, like you said, he was definitely on his way to becoming Wrestler of the Year, or at least in the conversation. So it's unfortunate that he got hurt. But the return of the Rainmaker. I mean, what's gonna. Is this also the event where he finally had he had the trunks again?
Trunks.
No,
And
no,
everybody
that
went
was
crazy.
the I think the 2 years before when he versed Jay White.
Really?
Yeah,
Because he was rocking the long pants and then he pulled out the trunks and everybody was like, "Ah!"
yeah, that was.
Oh man, I thought
Never
that was this
forget.
Wrestle Kingdom. But damn, I mean, just these two guys are gonna put on a banger. But what I enjoyed most of it is that they had a backstory, like a multi-year backstory, and they brought it into the match. And you don't see that often. I don't see that often because I don't get to watch a lot of New Japan. So whenever I see some shit like that, it's pretty special. So this another match that deserves to be on the list, definitely.
And talking about multi-year storylines culminating in a match in 2021, the very next day, New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 15 did just that with the main event of night 2 as Kota Ibushi defended the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championships against Switchblade Jay White at our number 6 entry from Wrestle Kingdom 15 night 2. This match set the record for the longest match in Tokyo Dome history, breaking the record set by Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 11. And these two men went 48 minutes, and what a drama-filled matchup this was. Jay White put on the performance of a lifetime, not even just a Star Maker performance, probably one of the greatest heel performances of all time. Just mannerisms, body language, facial expressions, the little things like talking trash, the way he worked over the ribs and the leg. Previously, the two focal points of his victories over Kota Ibushi. He had won 3 straight against Ibushi, including taking his briefcase for the shot at Wrestle Kingdom 15 at Power Struggle a couple of months prior. And Ibushi overcame all of that. One of the best moments being like, I think Jay White was talking trash to Ibushi, and then Ibushi just flips the switch into Murder Bushi at one point and just completely knocks Jay White the fuck out. Great moment there. And then finally, in the end, Ibushi pulling out the Kamigoye to the back of the head and then to the face to get the victory and retain the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championships. Excellent, incredible matchup here. Ibushi versus White. Do you think that it should be higher than Okada and Ospreay from the day prior, Chris?
Um, I don't think so. Even though I enjoyed this match, and I mean, this was like for me, it felt like before this, Jay White was kind of like on the cusp of can we take him serious or not? And then this match happened, and we're like, all right, Jay White's like, we got to put him up there now, like in that conversation for like one of the best in New Japan for sure, but maybe in the world. So, and I'm always here for Kota getting some love. Finally got some love and got a win. I just thought 48 minutes was a little too long. Like it wasn't like the pace of the 40 whatever minutes that Omega and Okada went. Like it felt a little too long for my liking, but that's just my opinion. It's still a great match, taking nothing away from it. But I enjoyed Okada Ospreay more.
Yeah, I think it's a different match for the length of time. Like Okada and Omega, although Omega was heel going into that match, he definitely played a babyface in that match. So it was more of like a babyface versus babyface type of thing, where Ibushi and White is clearly a babyface versus a heel. So the heel kind of has to slow things down. So I think that might be why it felt a little bit longer as far as like pacing wise. But what did you think about this heel performance from Jay White on January 5th of 2021 against Kota Ibushi here, Romeo?
Listen, I hated Jay White. He was on my shit list, like Sean Spears levels. But this match made me a fan. Jay White has crossed me over to the dark side. Jay White deserves it. What a match. And then also the promo after. Wasn't it the promo after?
Yes, it was.
Holy
One of
shit.
the
One of
best
the
of the-
best promos of the year. One of the best promos I've ever seen, really, by a heel.
Yeah.
So good. And he earned my respect. Jay White and Ibushi. Great match. I had a little bias with the Ospreay Okada. Like, I kind of want to say that's better just because I like those two more, but probably no. Yeah, probably this was better. I got to give it credit. I got to drop the bias like I do so often here on Tru Heel Heat.
I like Okada and Ospreay more, but I just felt like that's a great match. But I never felt like that could be like the match of the year. Immediately after Ibushi and White, I was like, this is better than Okada and Ospreay. Only for Jay White having the top 3 greatest heel performance I've ever seen in a big time matchup. Like there's Ric Flair in 1989, there's Triple H in 2000, and there's Jay White on January 5th, 2021. The greatest heels I've ever seen wrestle. So I have to give it to Jay White, and I'm glad this made the list here. Just short of the top 5. Let's get into the top 5, fellas, as we got at number 5, a match you both were there live for from AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. Kenny Omega going one-on-one with Bryan Danielson. 30-minute time limit draw. This was the opener for AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, which was the most attended event in All Elite Wrestling history in Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens, New York. Bryan Danielson, of course, debuted for All Elite Wrestling at AEW All Out 2021, just 3 weeks prior, and got into a feud with Kenny Omega, trying to prove who was the greatest professional wrestler in the world. And these two men proved that it's a conversation between these two men on September 22nd, 2021, when they had a masterpiece of a professional wrestling match. Bryan Danielson going back into his tool shed, bringing out some old ROH mannerisms and moves like the cattle mutilation. There was the V-trigger on the entrance ramp to the ring from Kenny Omega. There was top rope back suplex. There was a dragon suplex on Bryan Danielson, who has a surgically repaired neck. There was the kicks to the head. You're going to get your fucking head kicked in. So much great moments, so much great action. The chops, the strikes were crisp and stiff. The psychology was there. Amazing storytelling. This had it all, and a perfect finish because Danielson couldn't lose his first match. Kenny Omega, as the AEW World Champion, couldn't lose. So this finish was magnifique. Chris G, what did you think about Omega versus Danielson?
You know how this fucking match, you know how you know this fucking match was awesome? I was there live, and it didn't feel like 30 minutes. The match went like that, and then it was just, it's a draw. It's like, what? Like, I just sat down and got my beer and started watching. But it's just, that's how good the match was. It just takes you out. You lose sense of all time or anything. You just get drawn in. Shit, one of the best matches I've ever seen live, ever in my life. Hands down. Hands down.
Romeo, where does it rank for you? You're a man that's seen a lot of great matches live. Where does it Omega Danielson rank for you?
Maybe top 5, maybe. But the only match on this list that all 3 of us had a direct influence on, we affected this match with our crowd participation. But I can't put this in my top 5 because it's a draw. And if I'm going to put a draw in my top 5, then kissing my sister might as well be a top 5 moment in my life.
Oh, will you stop? It's not you in a draw, you idiot. What?
Sorry.
How?
Sorry.
Maybe kissing your cousin. I don't know about your sister. That's a little extreme. That's an L if you kiss your sister. I don't know. That's a draw.
That's extreme. All right. Moving on. Let's go to number 4. Another match, the final match from WWE from NXT TakeOver 36. It's Volta versus Ilya Dragunov for the NXT UK Championship. The rematch from their Match of the Year candidate in the empty arena last year. And what did they do for a Match of the Year candidate last year? They added fans. They made it a little bit more hard hitting, and they just picked up the pace just quite a little bit. And this was just a pure and utter fight. The best simulation of a fight that I've probably seen in 2021 was Walter versus Ilya Dragunov. Dragunov overcame all the emotional struggles that he went through after his loss against Walter last year and overcame it all. He withstood all the big moves, the way Walter defeated Pete Dunne to win the NXT UK Championship, the way Walter defeated Tyler Bate, and the way Walter defeated him in the past. He kicked out of all those moves and finally vanquished the final boss with a sleeper. He made Walter tap out. If there was a finish that was probably just as perfect as Omega and Danielson, it's Walter Dragunov 2. What did you think about this one? Making the list at number 4, Romeo.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We got a winner in this match. Hell yeah. Walter Ilya was my match of the year last year. That was amazing. And then this year, I don't think the match was as good as the first one, but it had the fans, and the fans added so much more to it, which you wish the fans were in the first one. And Ilya making Walter tap out was like, wow. He made him tap. And then he puts, if that's not enough, he puts his foot on his chest, holds the title up, and there's your new champion. This was every bit as amazing as we are describing it.
Yes. Chris G, do you prefer this match or last year's empty arena brawl?
Well, considering I kind of underrated last year's match, I'm gonna have to overrate this one because I fucking love this one. And but I had the fans, and the atmosphere was totally different. The drama was just intense. Kind of had the feeling that Ilya was gonna win, but it's one of those moments that you want to see. You want to see somebody finally topple the legend known as Walter. You know what I mean? So, and then making him tap, I mean, it's like, oh shit, like we gotta take Ilya seriously, and that's what we've been doing. So, I put this was in my top 3, but 4, that's cool too.
Another point, they protected Walter so much over his title reign that it just added to this match and the ending.
Absolutely did, for sure, and definitely the best WWE match of the year. And
Walter again, year after year. What year was the Pete Dunne match? I can't remember.
That was 2019. Bate was his match. No, Bate was his match of the year in 2019.
So I'll give him 2 matches of the year that year. So 4 matches of the year in 3 years.
This guy coming in at number 3 is New Japan Pro Wrestling's top entrant on our list here from New Japan Pro Wrestling Dontaku Day 2. It's Will Ospreay defending the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Shingo Takagi. This was a rematch from the New Japan Cup Finals where these guys tore it up. 5.5-star rated matchup from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and somehow they exceeded all those expectations going in. These guys have wrestled 3 times before this match. The New Japan Cup Finals at this same year, 5.5 stars. Last year in the G1, 5 stars. And in 2019, the Best of the Super Junior Finals, they did 5 3/4 stars. The worst match these two have ever had is 5 stars, and yet this might be their best match yet. For almost 40 minutes, just put on incredible pace to this one. Will Ospreay is one of the best high flyers, but he has really turned around his entire game, making him more technically efficient, making all of his strikes very crisp in the ring. And Shingo Takagi might be the most underappreciated professional wrestler in the world. He has just had banger after banger and the best matches of multiple people's 2021 in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And these guys just went out there and just exceeded everything that we could have expected from them. At like the 30-minute point, these guys are trading strikes, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be over. But Ospreay pulls out the win with the Stormbreaker to defeat Shingo Takagi for a second time. 6-star rated from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Only the second match from New Japan Pro Wrestling to get the 6-star rating. Outside, that didn't include Okada versus Omega. So what did you think about Ospreay and Shingo? I know you just recently watched this one, Romeo. What did you think?
I thought, what the fuck took me so long? Like, how do I wait? However many months I waited to watch this when everyone was talking about it. It's like, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. No, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. Yeah, I'll get to it. Finally, at the end of the year, oh shit! What was I thinking? What was I doing? I'll never do that again. This was spectacular, and what a year for Shingo. This was like the exclamation point that he is here. Tremendous match. The whole 5-star thing gets on my nerves. Like, they're all 5 stars. They're all 5 stars. Stick to your 5-star rating scale, please.
Hey, I stick to my 5-star rating. I only gave one 6-star
Right.
rating in my all my
See?
years. One 6-star rating.
See.
That's Okada Omega 4. Come on, that exceeds everything. I had to make sure people know that's the greatest match ever. Chris G, what did you think? Ospreay and Shingo, probably one of the greatest in-ring rivalries of all time now.
They're up there. I think they got more work to build. I think they can still build upon that. You know what I mean? Give it a rest. Don't have them fight like in a couple weeks, but like you know what I mean? Like give it a little rest, but they can still keep building. Especially if we get is Shingo still Lij?
Yeah.
If we get a Lij versus United type of situation, we could still, that's just another layer to the story that could be added. So, this rivalry can keep going on. This match, unfortunately, another match that I didn't catch in its entirety, but I got the shortened spot version. I know,
Shame on you.
I know. I tried really hard and every stream wouldn't work, and I was like, fuck it, got to go to the highlights. But from what I seen, these two men, the growth of Will Ospreay is good to see because I thought he was going to end up killing himself one of these days. It's good to see him tone it down and actually be a little safer and a little smarter with how he works. And then Shingo, one of the most, like you said, one of the most underappreciated. I didn't appreciate Shingo for the last couple years until he got this little run, and I was like, now I could take him seriously, and it's good to see the talent flourish.
Yes, indeed, and it says a lot about the year 2021 was with in-ring wrestling that was number 3 on our list here. But coming in at number 2 is a match that I know Romeo's going to be upset is not number 1, but with a lot of first place votes, I believe 40% of our Tru Heel Heat contributors had this as the number 1 match of the year for 2021 from AEW Dynamite St. Patrick's Day Slam. It's Dr. Britt Baker, D.M.D., one-on-one with Thunder Rosa in a lights-out, unsanctioned matchup. These two women came into 2021 in a feud based on Britt Baker feeling like Thunder Rosa doesn't belong in the AEW women's division. They had their first encounter at Beach Break, which was a very good matchup with Britt Baker being victorious. Britt Baker once again was victorious over Thunder Rosa in a 6-woman tag team matchup, which set the stage for the lights out matchup, and AEW made it the first ever lights out match on AEW Dynamite, which main evented the show and became the first main event for the women's division of AEW. And these two women lived up to all the hype and lived up to the standard that the stipulation, the lights out match, has been for AEW. This was brutal. There was use of steel chairs, ladders. There was bloodshed for both women, in particular Dr. Britt Baker, D.M.D., with one of the visuals of the year with her bloody face being reminiscent of Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13. She took a power bomb into thumbtacks, her back scattered with the thumbtacks inside of it, and then finally Thunder Rosa hit a fire thunder driver off an apron through the table at ringside to defeat Dr. Britt Baker and win the lights out match. Both women got put on the map in the entire division. The AEW women's division was elevated on this night. This totally changed the perspective of how women are presented in professional wrestling on national TV. So much you could say about this match. Chris G, what was your thoughts on this match here?
You noticed before when we were talking about Bianca and Sasha, I said the greatest women's main event in WWE because
Yes.
this fucking match was the greatest women's match I've ever seen in my life. I mean, these girls beat the shit out of each other. Crazy. And then you get iconic imagery with Britt and all the blood just dripping down her face. I mean, this match had everything. They built it well. Drama, spots, destruction, chaos, psychology, fucking everything. Everything was good. It's definitely, I can't understate that this is one, if not not even women's matches. One of the best matches I've seen. I love shit
Yeah.
like this, and they did it really well. And I'm glad it was two beautiful women that did.
Absolutely. Romeo, you've been very adamant that this is the match of the year for 2021. Why do you feel so passionate about that?
I'll explain more when we get to number one. But a little tease, this match was amazing. Not only what it meant for the AEW women and their division, but also just women's wrestling as a whole, what it meant for that. I agree with Chris, one of, if not the greatest women's match of all time. And props to AEW for they haven't went back to it yet. They have been building back up to it, to the rematch coming. It's going to come sometime soon here in 2022. And it's got a lot to live up to. Let me just say that. It's got a lot to live up to.
Indeed. But I think that we are going to be talking about these two women as one of the best matches or best feuds of 2022, because I feel like there's only one step to go after the lights out match, and that's inside of a steel cage. That's the only other stipulation which they've garnered that type of that type of aura around the stipulation that can live up to the lights out match. What do y'all think?
Ooh, First Blood.
First blood match would be cool.
I don't like the First Blood match. I think I've never seen a great First Blood match, to be honest.
I believe.
What? You didn't like Kane and Stone Cold? No, I'm joking.
That was
terrible.
not great.
It was terrible. I'm joking. But in all honesty,
And it's hard to do because, like, what if you accidentally bleed?
Yeah.
Oops.
What if one of them's on? No, all right, let me stop. I would have.
I
almost went there.
Oh, you are so wrong for that. This guy's horrible.
I almost went there.
Horrible.
I cut myself off. I almost went
there. Boo this man!
Chris G.
That's it. I'm taking drunk guy's spot as the most sexist figure on Tru Heel Heat. Great.
Absolutely.
No, but in all honesty, it feels like the steel cage has been the blow off match that like is able to top the match prior. Like even if it was a specialty match, and all steel cage matches that AEW been hitting so far. So as evidence,
which we will get into, but before we get into the number one, we have a couple of honorable mentions to mention. Just missing out on our top 10, Shingo Takagi versus Tomohiro Ishii from the G1 Climax 31 Day 1. Great hard-hitting matchup those two men had. Also from New Japan Pro Wrestling, you had Tetsuya Naito versus Kota Ibushi from Wrestle Kingdom 15 Night 1, as well as Shingo Takagi versus Jeff Cobb from Wrestle Kingdom 15 Night 2. Both of those shows made our top 10 best major shows of 2021 as well, so had to mention those. From WWE, from NXT, you had Gargano versus Kushida from NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. You also had Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa, and Team 2.0 versus Team Black and Gold from NXT War Games was also a very great matchup as well. From AEW, a laundry list of like 5-star matches from those guys. Kenny Omega versus Rey Fenix from AEW Dynamite New Year's Day Smash. You also had the Young Bucks versus Pac and Rey Fenix from AEW Dynamite April 14th episode. So yeah, a laundry list from all these promotions. Full Gear had a couple of match of the year candidates. CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston, MJF versus Darby Allin, the main event of Hangman Page defeating Kenny Omega to win the AEW World Championship. 5.5-star rated from Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Any other honorable mentions that I may have missed saying here, Chris G, Romeo?
Just because I covered Blunt Impact, I'm going to say Kenny and Rich Swann. I thought that was a pretty good match.
Josh Alexander versus TJP, the Iron Man match.
Yeah. Can't forget about that one. Very underrated match.
You know, if that Omega Hangman match doesn't get grandstanded by the Young Bucks, it might be a little bit higher. It might have made the list.
Oh, will you stop it? Will you stop?
Grandstanded.
You didn't list it in your list, and yeah,
I said if it doesn't get grandstanded by the Young Bucks, it creeps up a little higher on the list.
Even if it had 0 Young Bucks, you're not putting it on your list because you had to put 2 to 3 WWE stuff on all your lists. I see that's the theme. with all of your
only
top
only
five.
one on my match of the year. Only one.
He definitely has a Charlotte match up there. She had like 20 matches all year.
Charlotte and
Only-
Rhea from Money in the Bank. Absolutely.
Only one on my match of the year. Only one WWE match. And an
Okay.
NXT at that.
And any matches that you want to honorable mention here, Romeo?
No, nothing that flies off the top of my head. Oh, I got one. MJF Darby.
From Full Gear?
Yes.
I really enjoyed that one. I also want to mention Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan from Fastlane and the retirement match on SmackDown a few months later. Both of those were great matches. And Roman Reigns versus Cesaro, the match that Top Guy JJ gave 5 stars to and hasn't mentioned since. So
Never
had to
forget.
mention all of those right there. Before we get into our number 1 entrant, yes, the Tru Heel Heat community voted on this as the 2021 match of the year, and the Tru Heel Heat contributors agree. The Young Bucks defending the AEW World Tag Team titles against the Lucha Bros from AEW All Out 2021 inside of a steel cage is our 2021 best match of the year. And my God, one of the greatest steel cage matches of all time. From even the entrances, this had a big match feel. You had the Lucha Bros coming out with the live performance entrance, and then the crowd energy was just buzzing at the start when the both teams stared each other down, and we just got a mixture of everything you would expect from these 4 competitors. There was the high spots, the fast-paced action, high-octane action that we've come to expect from the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks. There was the Young Bucks being their heel best, the cocky, sneaker-addicted douchebags that they have grown accustomed to be. There was the thumbtack sneaker thrown into the ring. There was bloodshed. Phoenix sacrificing himself for his brother Ray Phoenix. There was the Canadian Destroyer off the top rope from Penta to Matt Jackson. There was the insane dive from Ray Phoenix off the top of the 20-foot high steel cage onto the Young Bucks and Penta. And then finally, the assisted package power driver put Nick Jackson away for the Lucha Bros to defeat the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team titles to one of the most massive pops I've ever heard for a title change in my life. This is one of the greatest tag team matches of all time. Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks had one of the greatest ladder matches I ever seen live at All Out 2019. And anybody that has been there live at All Out 2021 says is that they saw the greatest steel cage match of all time. So very worthy of being number 1 on our list as the best match of 2021. Romeo, I know you feel different. Tell the people why.
Let me preface this by saying a lot of what you say is right. Athletically, the performance, you can't knock that at all. Like what they did was amazing. The moves they did, the flow of it. But here's my gripe, and it's my personal gripe. It's not going to be everyone's. It's not in my top 5. It's like number 6 for me. It's just in my top 5 matches, they sold a lot more. The performers sold a lot more. This was bam, 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 right after the other. And it's a part of it is because, it's a tag team match inside a steel cage. There's not much room to go. You're right there next to each other anyways. I understand that. But, yeah, that's my only gripe with the match. I understand it's personal. Not everyone's going to feel that way. You love what you saw. I get that. Stylistically, though, storytelling-wise, I wish there was more room in between the moves to let shit breathe. That's me.
So every match that you listed in your top 5 had selling in it. Are you sure about that? You sure you don't want to walk that back?
They
sure?
let shit breathe and did not go 120 miles an hour.
Okay. Wasn't a lot of selling in Baker and Rosa, and I love both ladies, but it wasn't a lot of selling.
Yes,
but anyway, no, it wasn't.
There was.
Really wasn't. Go back. I actually just watched
this.
I actually just watched it this week. There really wasn't. They sold a Death Valley driver off a ladder for like 5 seconds, and Britt Baker was back up. So okay, if you say it had a lot of selling, that's what your memory is telling you. But facts is facts, and what I saw is what I saw. Chris G, what do you think about Bucks and Lucha Bros getting the number 1 spot this year? Young Bucks back-to-back best matches of the year for us at Tru Heel Heat.
I don't remember who it was, but a wise man once told me, sometimes you got to live life at 120 miles per hour. And fuck it, 120 miles per hour is where how they fast they went, and I enjoyed every second of it.
That
The
person's
match,
probably dead now.
it was right before he crashed into a tree going 120 miles per hour. No, I mean, I love this match. I had a hard time picking number one between these two matches, and I went with the women's match simply because I feel like I enjoyed it a little bit more. But that's not to say I didn't enjoy this match. This was the best match on the best pay-per-view of the year. I mean, they got everything. They got everything we wanted. And the Lucha Bros won. It was good to see finally the Lucha Bros get that validation that they're global superstars now. Because it feels like they've been pecking at it for a while now, but it's like now it's official.
Yes, there was at one point I think last year some people thought that the Lucha Bros were kind of lost in the shuffle. I think they were doing the stuff with like Eddie Kingston. They had just came out of Death Triangle. They weren't really near the tag team title scene, but what a year makes for the Lucha Bros. They're in a much better position than they were this time last year, and they also are in the best match of 2021, voted on by us at Tru Heel Heat. I want to thank Chris G and Romeo for joining me on this list here. I want to thank all the Tru Heel Heat contributors, and thank you all for watching. If you're watching us live on the premiere, let us know in the live chat your choices for the best matches of 2021. Let us know if you agree with the list and what you would have changed from the list. And also, if you're watching us on demand, let us know the same thing down in the comment section below. Chris G, you want to let the people know where they can find you, good brother?
You can find me at Tru Heel Chris G on Twitter and Instagram, and you can catch me here every Tuesday night on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. NX3, me and the good brother Romeo Anthony Cologne, we cover NXT 2.0. Sometimes we're joined by the three-time baby making champion. Yesterday we were joined by Negro Kane, and we had a great time. So always want to join us for that. And then every Thursday night I am here for Blunt Impact Live after Impact Wrestling around 10:30, 10:40 every Thursday night. Usually joined by the three-time baby making championess, but if not, I'll be there to break shit down for everybody.
And smoke weed.
And smoke weed. Break down the weed and then break down the show. There we go.
Break it down. Romeo, where can the people find you, sir?
Hey, you can follow me, Tru Heel Romeo, on Twitter and Instagram. Right here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channels. Mondays, Rated Raw Superstars with Drunk Guy JJ, whether it's a watch along or a review right after. And I like to host watch alongs, normally Dynamite AEW on Wednesdays and Fridays, Friday Night Warriors, where we watch SmackDown and Rampage, and of course pay-per-views. So hit the bell for notifications. We watch everything.
Absolutely. Smartest thing to do, hit that bell. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. You can also follow the gang on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Tru Heel Heat. Most of the stuff you see me on Tru Heel Heat is wrapped up for the year. So you'll see me back in 2022, back in the DeLorean with Romeo and Drunk Guy for True Rewind. Also be back on Saturdays at 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time for Tru Heel Heat in 2022 with Miss Chrissy Love and Top Guy JJ. And yeah, I mean, maybe I'll show up on a roundtable review. There's a bunch of interviews up on the channel now. You got my Tru Heels BTR with Impact Wrestling Knockouts champion Mickey James. You also got Tru Heels BTR with ROH star Shane Taylor. So we get in depth about ROH's hiatus, what he felt about ROH cutting away from his moment at Final Battle, plus much, much more. So a lot of great content to enjoy during this holiday festive spirit time in the world right here on Tru Heel Heat. You got interviews, you got countdowns, you got lists, you got the usual stuff you come here for. We're closing off the year strong with these good brothers, plus much, much more. So for Chris G, for Romeo, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat, top 10 best matches of 2021. We are signing off until next time.